Hello and welcome to the Yarnings podcast. I'm Christine and I'll be your host. This is episode 92. I'm calling it Yarning is my superpower. It is Friday, July 15th. I am recording in the morning. And it looks like it's fairly nice outside. It was 60 when I looked a little while ago, so it's been fairly nice. Yesterday was in the 80s. But I think this weekend's supposed to be 70s and partially cloudy, and that'll be nice. So, let's get started with some life stories. I am still sitting on my couch, as you can see. My ankle is getting a little stronger. As long as I don't stand on it or walk on it for more than 10 minutes, it's not so bad. I'm going up and down the stairs a little more easily, but it's still definitely healing. I have some appointments to try and get it back to strength, and we shall see how that goes. Other life stories, I have been doing a lot of resting still. You will hear a lot of things that I have watched and things that I'm working on as we go throughout the episode. But yeah, resting, crafting, that's been my primary goal at the moment. I have some exciting things to show you today. So let us move into yarnings and adventures in knitting, and I will show you some finished objects. I released today my new shawl pattern. This is the Superpower shawl. It is a crescent shape, like a big smile, or a shield for a superhero. So it has wedges, it has a textured I-cord, little waviness, it has a cable and lace border, and optional beads. Cable and lace is a little easier to see in this one. My lighting isn't as good in this room, but I had so much stuff in here and I just couldn't justify the ankle strength it took to move it all back into the other room and then back in here. So we're in here, that's okay. You guys can see some great pictures on the Ravelry page. I have three different color stories, three different color schemes that I knit this shawl in. This was the first one. I was calling it Sugar Plums at the time. I did this one around Christmas time because the multicolor that I used reminded me of a Christini Christmas color because it's got kind of a cranberry and a beautiful shot of lime green with a little pink in there, pinky purple. And then that was Huckleberry Knits. And then Alicia goes around a beautiful tonal. This one wasn't quite as easy to see the colors. Look at those nice green beads I found. So I cast on a second one. To be a little more dramatic, I used a gradient. So the gradient goes from green on this side, green all the way around to the pink. The pink goes into the garter edge there and then completes after the lace and cable. So this is just two colors. Pretty stunning. This is Julie of Happy Go Lucky is the gradient, and the border is Marigold Jen, and the color in the stripes, the purple. And so that one is awfully fun and very Superpower feeling to me. And then the last one that I did is luxurious because it is merino nylon cashmere blend from Knitted Wit for both of these colors that are striping. And then the colorful edging on it is Cyborg Craft Room Sparkleite. So each of these shawls has a sparkle yarn somewhere in it. And the Cyborg's Craft Room is in the edging on the top too. And this one feels so nice on with the cashmere. I really like how it sits on my shoulders. It can be worn lots of different ways. I especially think that it's cool wrapped up around like that. And it's a really fun way to see how different colors and textures can work together to provide very different looks. Superheroes might have very different costumes for their different roles. They're different things that they're doing. And that struck me when I was working on these shawls, that it was kind of a fun way to costume yourself in different ways that showed off your superpowers. So 3 finished objects, obviously not all at the same time. I was working on this one at ZK and finished it up. I finished it up when I got home. I still was working on the beads on the traveling. These beads blend in really nicely, but they add a really nice weight that weighs down the shawl and keeps it on your shoulders really nice. So, Superpower shawl. It is now available on Ravelry. There is a thread in our forums. We will be doing a knit along. There will also be a coupon code to participate in the knit along. The coupon code is good now through August 31st, which is when the knit along ends. And the code is SUPERKAL, SUPERKAL. And that will get you 30% off of the pattern. So I hope you will knit along with me. I don't know what I will be doing during the knit along. I don't know if I'll cast on a 4th one. We shall see. It is really a fun shawl though. I have to thank my awesome test knitters, Karen and Annetta and Angel and Joanne of the Creative Mojo podcast, for helping me out and refining the pattern a little bit. So yes, new shawl, new knit along. This will be going on at the same time as our summer school knit along, craft along. But I think it's a fun thing to get to do as a group, and I love sharing my patterns with you guys and being able to give you a discount. Other adventures in knitting. My sock blank socks are nearly done. So I am working on my ribbing on the top, and they're a little snug when I put them on, but I think that'll be okay. I'm going to go ahead and bind off. I have this much more, but if I get it much higher, they're going to be even more snug. So bind off is the plan. These should be done rather quickly. Even though I do a stretchier bind off, it still takes a little while to do that. So I will sit down with an episode of TV and finish these up. They are a little longer than I normally go. You can see that when I fold it in half, the tip of the toe is shorter than the length of the leg. So they're a little longer. They will be very nice. I really like the color, and I look forward to wearing them. I haven't been wearing hand knit socks right now because I'm wearing my braces in the other room. I've been wearing an ankle brace to try and help keep it supported so that I don't roll it while it's healing. And I have been hesitant with all the Velcro on it to want to wear handed socks. So, regular old store-bought socks under my brace for the moment. So, that. I also have my You're Beautiful shawl. Let's see, I am in the middle of a row. This got a little bit of work since I talked to you guys last. I am just continuing on with, I want to use the rest of this, and then I'll do the border in this. So, just plugging along on that. Really, my knitting hasn't gotten as much love as my spinning since the last podcast. I just love that it matches. And then, the thing that has gotten the most work on it, I mean, I don't know, maybe the socks, but this has gotten a lot of work on it. Let's show you from the other side, because that's where the gathers in the front are. It was my Summer Vines top, which I have inverted. You can see that I have added some increases in the front to give it a little bit of fullness there. We're a little off center, but there we go. You can see I added a little bit of increases in the front. This will be the top. I will be making some straps, and so I'm working my way down until I have the length that I'd like this to be, and then I will work on the straps. I've still got quite a bit of this yarn, so I can keep going for quite some time before I need to set some aside for the straps, but I also have quite a bit of the lavender. So the rows are really long on here, especially after I increased, but it's stuck in ends, so it's really easy knitting. And even though it's gotten a little big, it went with me on my library trip on Tuesday when I actually left the house. I left the house for the first time since I'd fallen. So those are my 3 works in progress. Let's move into yarnings and spinning a tale. It is Tour de Fleece. Tour de Fleece is a challenge that goes along with Tour de France, this bicycling race, and I enjoy the challenge of spinning and getting to do it with a community. Team Sasquatch has been where I have always done my spinning. It is a joint podcaster team, and I really enjoy getting to go and post my daily pictures. I've not posted today for yesterday. I am working on several things. The thing that I did finish is this one. Again, my lighting's not as good in here today, but we will manage through. This actually goes kind of nicely with what I'm wearing. This is some Huckleberry Knits, no wait, yes, Huckleberry Knits fiber that I bought at Black Sheep the first year I went, 2011. Yes, the first year I went, I started spinning it at Madrona after Madrona when I bought my first Turkish spindle, which is empty at the moment because I had just finished a bump last night. I had bought this in 2012. 2012, and then when I got home, I started spinning this. The singles have been sitting ever since. There was a period of time that I was not strong enough to hold up my spindle for long enough to spin it, but really what would get me was the plying, because I used this big, giant, shacked starter spindle for the plying, and it's heavy, and you have to stand up because it's so long, or for the most part, that works the best. So there were several projects that just sat until I had a chance. So I had 4 balls of singles. This is 114 grams, I believe. And I got 664 yards. I need to put a tag on here that says that. But 664 yards, I knew that. And it's a nice lace weight, 2-ply. See if I can get it to focus. You can see there is some nice barber poling in there, and then sometimes where the colors matched up. It's really nice, and it's a BFL. I think it might turn into a shawl. I don't know which one yet. Maybe I'll design something. It's hard to design something with hand spun though, because it's not as consistent. But I really like it. And it took me a while to ply it, but that's okay. I used my new Turkish spindle, which Angel gave me. I don't know the brand of this one, but it works awesome as a plying spindle. It is the same weight as my small spindle. They're both 33 grams. And so it's a nice lightweight, but it's got the longer legs, so I can fill a little more on here. And yeah, that's really fabulous. So I am really grateful that I've had that for the tour. So finished. That was the finished spin. The work in progress. I have a bunch of these little balls. This is number 4 and number 5. This is Santa Creations. I should have pulled over one of the fibers to show you. It's burgundy to teal to a grayish color to pink. So these are either ends of it. And I'm spinning it not super duper fine, but pretty fine. Oh man, I wish that the lighting was a little better in here so that it would focus for you, but I have 5 of these complete. I have 12 ounces, so each one of these is about an ounce. I'm pulling apart a braid, and it's spinning up really nice. So that's been my primary project. I've been trying to get around 10 grams a day. Last couple of days I got a little more because I was done with the plying project. And yeah, I haven't decided if I'm going to ply these together or if I'm going to ply them with something else like a black lace weight, and then I'd have more yardage. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards right now. It's probably a lace weight to a heavy lace weight single. Heavy lace weight single probably. So I think that would be really, really cool, but I do not have a large stock of black lace weight, so that would be something I'd need to get. Okay, so then the other spinning that I have worked on is my Ply on the Fly project on my Acrework spindle, and I've just been slowly putting some time on this. I currently have, right behind me, 2 little mini skeins of it. This will be the 3rd. It's getting a little full. I spun while playing games the other day. I was pretty proud of myself for being coordinated enough to do that. So yeah, this one I'm not really measuring, weighing. It's slow progress because it's spinning and plying at the same time. It's not something that I think I will finish during the tour, but it is another great type of spinning that is a fun addition to my tour. I don't think I'll finish either of that project or the 12-ounce project during the tour, but really what the tour does for me is revitalizes spinning every day. The next thing I'm going to put on the plying spindle is the Kaylee, but they're way over there, so I'm not going to go pick them up. The Kaylee's Parasol from Hobbledehoy. So that'll be next. I'm going to try and move my leg here without bumping you guys too much. There we go. So for Stitch Through Time, there we go, I have worked more on my paper piecing. You can see all of the colors all lined up there. I don't know how many more I have compared to last time, but I worked on it a bit. I just definitely have spun a lot more in the last couple weeks because of the tour, and so I've been doing that in the evenings rather than paper piecing or so much knitting. I do want to pick what my next Frosted Pumpkin stitchery project will be so that I can have some cross stitch as well. Multi-craftual, I have been working on a coloring project. So my friend Amelia pointed out that there was a challenge called the Daily Marker 30 Days, and it's suggesting coloring at least 5 minutes a day, and that is a relaxing thing. So my first big project that I worked on was this postcard. I colored in all the lines with marker and then went in with colored pencil to tint the background. So here's the second one I'm working on. You can see all the lines that are waiting to be filled in. And that takes a little while. Really, you have to be careful with your markers and do it just right. And then I will also fill that in. And if I can find a third one that is similar, I have a little book. These are all postcards, The Art of Relaxation, that I got at a local craft store. If I can find another one that has similar lines, I'm going to try and do a trio of them and put them in a frame somewhere. They really are turning out very nice. And there are some other things in this book that are really complex that I might not ever want to do one that's quite that fine of lines. This one might be a little complex as well. But then you see things that are a little more basic and fun. That one could be colored pencils. It's got bigger lines. I have a set of, what was the brand on these markers? I have a little pen holder here. I have a set of Le Pen. And I just have 6 of them that I had purchased for my birthday a couple of years ago. And so that's the color palette I've been using. And then just a set of Crayola colored pencils that I got on Amazon. So that is my multi-craftual for today. Knitting community, we have the summer school Yarnings Knit Along, Craft Along this summer, where you are encouraged to do some learning, whether it is a craftsy class or taking a class in person or something else that I haven't thought of or that I've talked about in the past already, and post how you're crafting while you're learning. So for me, knitting while I'm learning something is a great way to do multiple things at once. I tried out a craftsy class that I had purchased called Piece by Piece Quilt As You Go, and I knit while I was watching it. The class itself didn't turn out being quite as interesting as I had hoped. I just didn't connect with the teacher very well. There was something in her personality that just I didn't quite mesh with. It had some interesting information about how to quilt right onto your backing and batting. And so it was an interesting concept. I just wasn't as thrilled about the teacher. And that's okay. You know, you don't know until you try, and I tried something, and I would probably not take another class by this teacher, but that's okay. I learned that. And it was some interesting concepts. It is something that I could see doing something similar. she gave some good helpful information. So I think I have one or two segments left of that Craftsy class. I'm watching it on my Apple TV, which makes it super easy. And yeah, so I shall keep reporting back on the learning that I am doing while crafting. I did also read a couple knitting books while I was knitting. I enjoy doing that, flipping through the pages, knitting on my project, and taking breaks to save things on Ravelry as I like them. I'll have to put those in the show notes for the two that I put into Goodreads while I was reading them. So then we have the knit along for the Superpower shawl. So we already talked about that, and there will be a thread. There's currently a placeholder, but there will be a thread for your chattering and finished objects. All right, so let's move into some non-knitting segments. And now playing. So I played Race for the Galaxy, one of my very favorites. And then, like I was saying, I tried to spin and knit on a couple games that are a little easier that don't require so much hands-on. We played Viticulture, which is a game of making wine, and I drank some wine while I played that one. And Istanbul. Again, that one, you don't have to have very many things in your hand while you're working on it, and by the tiebreaker, I won that one. And then I think it was the next day that we played Roll for the Galaxy, which is a dice game. That one is hard to play and knit, but as I wait for the other person to take their turn, I was picking up, I think it was my sock that I had down there with me. So yes, I'm hoping to play some games tomorrow with my niece when she comes over, and maybe if I still have enough energy on Sunday, I will go play games at the game store with Eric. We'll have to see how my ankle is doing that day. Okay, so Seconds of Geekery now watching. I have been watching a lot because I've been spinning and watching, I've been resting, and so I finished Numbers. I had almost finished it when when Netflix took it off, which was the beginning of July, so I had to go watch the end of it on Amazon Prime. We are still watching Fringe. We are nearly done with season 3. That has been a great evening activity while I've been resting. I installed the PBS app for my Apple TV so that I could watch the new episodes of the Great British Baking Show. I returned to Bones. I had stopped sometimes season 8, but on Netflix I had stopped at season 7, so I went ahead and started where Netflix remembered me watching last, and now I am on episodes that I have not seen in season 8. I just got a little bit, some of the storylines were not sucking me in, and so we just kind of stopped watching that one. But I am interested to see where it is right now. I also started Gilmore Girls. While it did not hit me as the best thing ever when I first started watching it, it's growing on me. I am midway through the first season now, and it's a good show. I can see why people like it. It's definitely got some fun characters. I really like Suki. And yeah, I'm interested to see how it develops for me, what I end up liking about it as it goes along. I restarted The West Wing. There is a podcast that Josh Malina is doing for the show that they are rewatching the episodes and talking about them. And so I had been curious to see what that was like, and so I'm watching the episodes in the order from the beginning and alternating with listening to the episodes of them talking about it. So I'll just be doing that slowly because they're only on, I think, episode 14, but it is really fun to get to see this again. And then we watched a few movies. We watched a pretty crappy, well, it wasn't crappy, but not one I would watch again. We watched a movie with Mila Jovovich and Pierce Brosnan called Survivor. We watched Jurassic Park and The Lost World. And then I watched a disaster miniseries called Eve of Destruction. So yeah, lots of watching, huh? It's been a full 2 weeks of watching stuff. For fanciful chatter, I am wearing superhero jewelry in honor of my shawl release today. So I have Marvel Shield earrings from Bomb.com Geekery, which is a Illinois-based geeky jewelry place. She also made my Hawkeye bracelet. And then I have knitting is my superpower, which I love. And this one was stamped by a local friend who makes jewelry. She just had a baby, so she doesn't have anything up in her shop right now. But knitting is my superpower. Yarning is my superpower right now, with all of the spinning and multi-crational stuff to go along with it too. So there's the inspiration for the title. I also have a new favorite eyeshadow, or at least a new one to add to my collection. This is ColourPop, their Super Shock Shadow in the color Sugar. And it's a really nice blue, but it goes on really nice and sparkly. So yeah, you're not seeing the full effect of this, but it's kind of like fairy dust on my eyes. It's kind of a bluey green, but with really nice silver sparkles. So it's really pretty. What else? I guess that's all the fanciful chatter. I've been buying a little more LuLaRoe, but I don't have any of it in here. For Book of Cooking, we've been cooking a lot of things that are easy, things that don't make me stand more than I can. So things like sausage on a bun, which is courtesy of Discworld. It's actually, I'll make up turkey sausages for me and put them on a hot dog bun or a roll. Eric will have whatever tofurkey sausages that he happens to have, and we enjoy that. I did a quiche. What else? Just really easy basic stuff. We've had Mexican a couple times, which turned into a mango salad, which was kind of like mango salsa, but not very saucy. Yeah, easy stuff. I did get an Instant Pot with Amazon Prime Day, and so I am excited to try and figure out what I'm going to cook first in my Instant Pot. I think that it will be great for grains to do rice or quinoa. I've been getting just the 90-second bags of rice and quinoa at the store because my rice cookers broke a long time ago. My husband's excited to make things with beans in it. And there are really interesting recipe ideas. So I'm really excited to do some research and find some fabulous ideas of things I want to do. I have a feeling that I'm going to go down the Instant Pot rabbit hole and pin a lot of things. So I will have more to report next time. For The Happiness Continues. The lyric that is stuck in my head right now from Hamilton is from Wait For It. It says, I am the one thing in life I can control. I am inimitable. I am an original. And that is from the song Wait For It. I think Wait For It's what it's called. I am the one thing in life I can control. That is so true. I mean, I can only control how I respond to people. I can't change how they're going to respond to me. I can only control how much I can do. So wick wick, I can only do what I can when I can. And that is just a positive, mental health friendly way to think about stuff. And it's a really good reminder for me that I just need to keep doing what I can do. I can control me. And the second half of it is I am inimitable. Yeah, I am not, I can't say it right. Inimitable. There we go. I am not imitating. I am not an imitator. You can't imitate me. I am original. And that is very true. I mean, look at my shawl pattern. This is just what I think is cool. And maybe somebody else could come up with the exact same thing, but it, for me, feels like a original thought from my head, ways that I can show my superpowers, and it's just really a cool way to look at things. So, there you go, courtesy of the Hamilton play and soundtrack. There's my thought for the day. So, I think that is everything for today, you guys. Thank you for joining me and for checking out my new shawl pattern with me here on video. I hope that you enjoyed the little preview of the various shawls that I had finished, and I hope you'll join me for the knit along. I will let you know how you can connect with me. I am Christine with a K on Ravelry. I am KDLB, just the letters, on Instagram. You can find the Yarnings podcast group on Ravelry, where we have our knit-alongs and the discussion for each podcast. And the show notes can be found at yarningspodcast.com, all squished together. And you can see everything that links to everything that I talk about. Okay, guys. Until next time, that's the story. Bye.